Normally, when you hear the term stock gun, you are thinking of a much worse version of a fully upgraded tank. You know, a gun that you shouldn't be running because it's bad. However, when it comes to the BZ-68, it only has two gun options. You have a stock 130mm and a fully upgraded 152. And while the more damage on the 152 sounds amazing, if we actually take a look, it's got worse aiming time, worse dispersion, worse DPM, and penetration on the standard and premium. The 130mm on the BZ-68 is actually fantastic. It's got great penetration with 350 mils of heat, solid damage per shot, great HE alpha, and it's honestly just a great gun in general. The stock gun on this tank is probably one of the best 130mm in Tier 9. And in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing that. I have played in the Chinese heavies quite a bit. I have showcased the BZ-75 and the 130mm armament features and the 150mm armament. And honestly, both guns are quite solid. I would say the 130 is definitely more reliable. But at the same time, if you're grinding down this line to run a 130mm, why? What's the point? Just go play a VZ-55, go play an IS-7. There's no point to play the BZ-68 as well with the 130, and that's why you normally don't see me running the 130mm on this tank. But what I will say is that the 130 is actually fantastic, so there is some argument to this gun. The reason I say on the BZ-75 it's pretty useless is because of the fact that the BZ-75 doesn't really have a lot of turret armor, and that's a problem. Turret armor is key. You know, this tank has a fantastic turret, and the upper plate's great. And because of that, if you're able to hide the hull and only show its strong points, you can do very well. But in the BZ-75, that's usually just not the case. So we are going to start this game off by making our way over towards Base A. We have a no camo AMX 5120, a no camo ISU 130. So that's... Oh, and a no camo stock Hori. Man, Wargaming really does not want me to win today. Like, that's all I can say. But hopefully we will be able to make a greater impact than the lesser of an impact our teammates will probably have. We see a Boss Shotgun 25-ton AP who is making a very, very big aggression. I would love to be able to get a shell out. Interesting. So we just got the 55A driving over. And there you go. Nice 434. We can see a good example of this vehicle's turret armor. That 55A probably thought he was going to cut right through us, but obviously that was not the case. I really don't know what this guy is doing, to be honest. I want to HE him, but at the same time I know that my HE is not strong enough to... It is strong enough. It's just I'm not confident enough to hit that while he's at that really weird angle. Wow, what a skilled player. Well, it seems like my team isn't the only one that is lacking a bit in the brain cell department. The 55A shoots at my teammate, and we're just going to drive right on over here. We're going to aim it on the 55A, and there you go. Nice 526 max roll into his vehicle. Well, we can definitely see the advantage of the 130mm on this tank. That faster reload and lower alpha has allowed us to get out more shells this game, which is quite nice. And we're already up to a pretty solid chunk of damage. We're now going to drive over to the T95, and we're going to load in a heat shell. This is where having that heat is actually quite nice and does allow us to cut right through our opponents. You will notice, though, that 6 degrees of gun depression is a bit sussler. Alright, we're going to reload, and we're going to aim in... Oh. Well, our Type 68 actually cuts right through. Okay, well, that's good. I'm going to get absolutely pile-drived by my teammates. Let's see if we can get a shell maybe into the T-77. I'm going to load gold just to confirm the shot. But we can see the accuracy of this gun is actually quite solid. And that was a very easy pen right into that T-77. He's going to back up right into my team. And we're going to aim in a shell of ourselves. There you go. Look at that. 494 goes right into his tank. We're already over 3,000 damage at this point, which is pretty good. And we're going to start heading to the Tiger 2, who is over in our spawn. Alright, well, let's see if I can get some damage into the Tiger 2. Hello, good sir. Bonk. 464 damage. And what do we have? We got the IS-3 behind us. Not much of a threat, though. We've got our adrenaline kicking, so we might as well just push up on the Tiger 2 and get another... Okay, that was bullcrap. I'm sorry, Wargaming, but that was complete bullcrap. There's no world where that shell shouldn't have penned that Tiger. But, oh well. Let's just hope that it doesn't matter. And we do get hatched, which is a little annoying. But we're getting our shells out. We have a lot more health than the Tiger 2. so it's not that big of a deal. We're just going to chill here. Tiger misses the hatching shot on me, and we're going to aim it on his vehicle. We're going to load in a standard shell again, and let's see if our team... No, yeah, just ignore the one-shot Tiger 2, you know. Why would you shoot him? You know, that would be common sense, I forgot. Well, I'm going to ignore him too then. I'm just going to shoot the mill, and we're going to get a nice, hopefully, juicer into his vehicle. 504 damage. Yep. Alright, well, pretty good stuff so far. Not too bad. Tiger 2's dead, and all that's left is an IS-3. Well, this was a very, very good game, and it was a great showcase of the just overall capabilities that this tank has. I mean, the DPM is solid, as I pointed out. A lot of people, for some reason, say that 2,000 DPM around that area is bad for Tier 9, but it really isn't. The majority of Tier 9 heavies don't have a lot more DPM than Tier 8s. High DPM in Tier 9 is considered 2,500 for a heavy. And the reason why you don't see a lot of Tier 9s with higher DPM than a lot of Tier 8s is usually because they gain in the penetration and alpha damage area. That's where they usually have a big advantage. So this tank only has about 100 to 200 more damage per minute than an IS-3, but what it does have is a lot more pen, a lot more alpha, and you can see that worked out very well for us here, dealing over 5,000 damage. We blocked 1,500 as well, and pulled out an ace for our first battle of the day, with 126,000 credits made. As I said, our team was not great, so we definitely had to take advantage while we could of our opponents and see what we could do. You know, we did a Supremacy game. Let's now try an Encounter battle. I've really had a hard time deciding whether I like Supremacy or Encounter more. I think the major reason why I do a lot better in Supremacy is because of the fact that players' movements are much more predictable. On Encounter, people don't know what they're doing. They YOLO a lot more because they don't have base caps to go to, and they generally have less of an idea of how to play. And the problem with that is when you are playing in an Encounter match, your teammates don't seem to drive to positions that you want them to. They're going to just drive randomly to wherever they want to go, and it just creates these really, really fast sweeps, which take away a lot of the fun of the game. So because of that, I find myself leaning a lot more towards Supremacy. But at the same time, I like the aspects of Encounter more. The fact that the base doesn't really exist is very nice because you don't need to worry about base cap at all. If you could get me the teams from Supremacy and throw them in Encounter, it would be so much more enjoyable. However, that's just not the case. So we arrive on Dead Rail, which, well, is the worst map in the game, as we've been over a lot of times. I'm actually starting to think that Port Bay is just as bad as Dead Rail, though, because Port Bay is pretty awful, too, if you want my honest opinion. Just the way that it's designed, the fact that when your team goes down, it's almost a guaranteed loss. But here we go. The only issue I have with the BZ-68 is that we feature 6 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty bad. And they get a Conqueror, which has 8 degrees of gun depression. So they basically just get a flat advantage on the hill because I can't really work it. So what I'm going to have to do is make my way more towards mid. And this is about as effective as I can be this game. Mid is fine, though, because as long as you work it, you know, respectably well, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. Sometimes poking here early game is quite nice to see if any, you know, tanks have climbed up the hill. But, well, what is going on here? 53 TP is going to back up, and when he does, there you go. Nice 450 damaging shell straight into his vehicle. We have the IS-5 above me for some reason. Interesting. I'm just going to back up, and we're going to aim it on the 53 again. Let's see. Not able to hit him yet just because of where he drove. We're gonna have to move up if we want to hit him, and bonk, there you go. Wow. Remember when I said in Encounter people don't know what they're doing and they just YOLO? Well, we can see that both sides of the game here. We are seeing people YOLO. Our T-28 prototype is being YOLO'd by the IS-5 and Leopard PTA. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, this is, as I said, the major issue I have with Encounter. It's just flat out YOLOs across the board. But we have an AFK Conqueror, and as we know, I'm never going to shy away from farming an AFK player. Other people might, but I don't, so it's free damage, and there's literally no reason not to do it. So we get 1 shell into the Conqueror, and 2 shells into his tank. Ooh, nice 575 juicer there. I would expect our team at this point to finish him off, so haha, they're going to finish a dude off. Either way, I'm going to make my way over here, and we'll see what we can do. We have a ISU right in front of us, but he's not looking at us right now, so I'm just going to aim in. Yo guys, I'm so skilled, look at me go! I ammo-racked a full health tank! I don't even know what to say. There really is nothing to say about what just happened. There's just nothing that's needed to be said. It's just wargaming moment. Ammo rack should not be a thing. Oh, okay. And then we get max rolled and lit on fire. Well, I guess my RNG turned right back around. At least we didn't get ammo racked, but still not great. T-44 is going to shoot at the IS-5, and while that's going on, we are going to shoot at the Leopard PTA. Be great if of course, he dies literally in like the worst position. Thankfully, Leopard obviously has no clue what he's doing, so we're still able to get some free damage out. We're already up to 4,000, to be fair. A lot of that was from a ammo rack, or at least half of that was from an ammo rack. The ISU doesn't have that much health. What the heck? How did that not pen the side of him? I think that actually hit the rear of his vehicle when we were aiming at the side. No, I don't know where it went. There's no marker at all on his tank, so I think that shell just disappeared. Let's try it again. There you go. Nice HE flattened to the side of his tank for 535. That shell could not have been more perfectly centered on his vehicle. Well, this is another pretty solid game. 4,700 damage. The BZ-68 is almost an OP tank with the way its armor and overall playstyle is. I think this vehicle is absolutely amazing. It's mobile, it has turret armor, it has a solid gun with good DPM, and it's got really good penetration as well. I mean, this is just a really, really good tier 9. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the BZ-68. Do you think it's good? I would definitely recommend to grind this line. I think it's fun. I think the BZ-166 is solid. I think the BZ-68 is amazing, and I think the BZ-75, judging that it has two different playstyles, is quite an enjoyable tank. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Overall, I really like the 68, and let's see what we did. 4,800 damage. We did not pull out an ace, but we did get a first class, which is still pretty solid. We made 80,000 credits and finished top on the team. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Please consider smashing that subscribe button if you did, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.